No, when you look at the league table now, so you go, obviously you're mob top, Man City, then it goes Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Villa, Manchester United, Newcastle, Brighton, right? How far do we go down on that list when we talk about teams that could possibly win the Premier League this season?
I think it's probably between City, Liverpool and Arsenal, and I'd probably whittle that down to Liverpool towards the end. Because what I was saying before, when Liverpool get to the finishing line, they've always pushed us all the way to the last day, so they would have the experience with the core of their team's been there and done it. Arsenal, I think he's made a rod for his own back with the goalkeepers. He shouldn't have done that. Agreed. I think the kid coming out today and getting his dad speaking for him is just...
That was nuts, right?
Absolutely insane. Like Maguire's mum speaking for him and all that. It's just like, my God. But I think Liverpool and Arsenal have slightly... I don't know why they tinkered too much with that team. That team just needed Declan Rice and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
And Havertz, I mean... It's got to be the only transfer in world football that no one else would buy him, you know. So I think they've overcomplicated it a little bit, but I don't think any Tottenham too soon. Who else? United, no chance. Newcastle.
Hold on.
I love that, no chance.
You're bizarrely dismissing the most informed side in the Premier League, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Dismissing them.
Yeah.
Quite arrogant, some people would say, no?
Yeah. Well, you know as well as I do, it's not a good team. There's not a good vibe there. I wouldn't bank on them winning.
What do you think the problem is with Manchester United? In all seriousness,
it comes from the top.
Yeah, the owners.
No, well, the thing about... Well, I don't like comparing them to City, but we have to because this is they are the benchmark. The thing about City is, outside of the Sheikh and Khaldoon, the next level down are all football people, real top football people, and they're all in sync with where the club's going and what the club needs. United always seems to be a bit fractured to me, and they don't seem to be able to do right for doing wrong half the time, and they've got their fan base is quite influential, and I think it all breeds United at best to tread in water. But if I was United, for me, would need to get some people to lower the expectations in the short term and get somebody, and I'm just pulling this name out, somebody like Thomas Frank to reshape that club properly from the bottom up. Because there'll always be this, well, we can afford to buy a Paul Pogba or we can afford to buy Sanchez, so let's buy him and it'll appease the fans and they'll all shut up for 6 weeks. Somebody needs to go and, like, you know what? You've come full circle now. United is now like it was before Ferguson took over. Right? It was
but with much more expectation.
Of course, yeah, because you've won like 13 league titles and Champions Leagues and all that. But I remember United before Ferguson, and they were, a pretty decent cup team, and that was it. And then he came in and galvanised the whole thing. That's what United need now. But it starts in that the owners, from the outside looking in, they don't love the club. They don't like it. They don't seem to like or respect what the fans have got to say, although some of it is quite mad what United fans come out with. But they need real football people in there, and not fly-by-nights either, like real serious football people. The thing about United is the people at the top, they're not serious. City's people are serious. When they first came in, and within 10 years we're going to be this and we're going to be that, there was a lot of, even some City fans, me included, were like, whatever. We've heard it all before, but they're real serious people. United need to get serious, and they're not going to do it with the Glazers, because the Glazers are in it for what they can get out of it, and they'll leave that club. They'll leave it eventually, and it will be a shell, and it will be a wreck, and it will need an extraordinary amount of money spending on it, and money that they probably won't have.
A couple of things I didn't realise: Manchester United have lost 3 of their last 5 in all comps, by the way.
We're just talking league form. At the
Yeah,
moment,
but obviously
Benny.
that's not really relevant. It's not. It's about
Just
three in the
league
last five.
form, just
3-0,
Premier
3-0,
League chat.
4-3.
Premier League chat.
But no, what for you? And when you look at the top four, I think you're right. City, Liverpool, Arsenal will be in there, and one other. I mean, Aston Villa have got off to a great start.
Yeah.
And you look at their manager that they've got as well in Unai Emery. He's somebody I know maybe potentially league-wise he's not as good as others, but if you look at him in European competitions, he's one of the best out there.
That's going to, I think their greatest strength will be their Achilles heel. When it gets to the back end of the season, he's going to know how to navigate a team through to a European final, right? And I think he'll want to win a trophy. He'll want to win a trophy in England, so that will be his best chance, I think. So I can't see them staying the distance, but I'm not looking forward to playing them in a couple of weeks. At theirs, or is it ours? I don't know where it is. I'm not looking forward to it at all because he's a real decent manager, and he's not really gone in there and spent a lot of money. He spent virtually nothing, and it just goes to show you when you have these coaches and the Steven Gerrards and the Wayne Rooneys and the Frank Lampards, and it's all great. It looks great, but it's good for in the short term. But actually, with these real quality coaches like him, and they are. So I think as the season gets on, they'll kind of prioritise that competition, and rightly so.
Is that their gaff? Villa? Is that Villa
Is
Park?
it? Yeah. That's going to be. We've got brutal fixtures coming up now, but Villa potentially could be the worst.
We didn't talk about Chelsea. Why haven't we spoken about Chelsea?
It's too soon for him. I think when just before the season started, I don't know whether I was on with you or Condy or somebody, and I said Chelsea, and everybody went like that, and it's like they're gonna take off at some point. They're going to take off at some
said
point.
top four at the beginning of the season, and I was like, what?
Yeah, maybe it was someone talking to you about it. I was like, I think it's too early for. I can see them doing well in the big games, right?
Yeah.
And then like next week they'll draw or they'll scratch a 1-0. But they're coming. It's not imminent. But if you look at they gave City a proper game on Sunday. Now, City weren't at their best, and Chelsea played out of their skin. But they found a bit of consistency. They've got no European football. They could decide where the title goes in the sense that if they take points off all the big clubs, they could decide. But they look good to me. They look young, fast, hungry.
And you're right about the big sides because their next three fixtures are Newcastle away, which will be difficult, Brighton at home, and then Manchester United away. That's Chelsea's next three.
Yeah, they've got. If they can get a bit of momentum going into the second half of the season, I don't think they're not going to win the league, but they could do something. But I think they'll have a big shout in where the league goes for sure. And Tottenham, I think Tottenham wants to get all their players back. Tottenham traditionally will take points off City, as will Liverpool. Having lost 2 games so early on in the season is a bit of a kind of like, oh no, for us. We usually wait until after Christmas, but. I loved what I seen of Tottenham early on, but once Maddison gets injured and they can't replace him.
And Van der Ven's a massive loss for the pace he had at the back. Yeah. It's frightening.
But again, and he's not spent a great deal of money, and he's turned it on its head. So
quickly, your next game is Liverpool after the international break, live on talkSPORT as well.
It's a nonsense that it's at 12:30 in the morning. I'm with Klopp on this. It's just why are we? That. The 12:30 kickoff is set up to benefit people all around in other parts of the world.
It will be either the 13th or the 14th time.
Yeah.
Liverpool
have got a lot of fans in Southeast Asia and all that, and it's
that's not coincidence. I think the second is Spurs on 6. Forgive me if I've got that quote slightly wrong, but it's there. It's half. The next one down.
I would imagine that somebody's sitting there and they say when Liverpool play at 12:30, the global ratings go through.
Yeah,
that's what that's going to be. But. It's one of the big fixtures in England. It's one of the biggest, and we're not going to see the best two. We're not going to see the best of the two teams. We're going to see. Lord knows who's going to turn up injured and all that. And 12:30. I hate 12:30 kickoffs. I hate going to those games. It's kind of doesn't feel right, but. That's going to be a tough game. Tough game.
Live and exclusive on talkSPORT as well. I have this is Drive on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Ben, and of course Noel Gallagher.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.